program in your school. Then we would also have experience sharing by some of our EcoSchool members and participants who've been part of our program for some years, and then followed by a question and answer session. And so this is the agenda for today. Next, please, Mansi. Can you move the slide? Yeah, so now we start with the introduction, the first session. Next, please. It's a pleasure to introduce my colleague and the Senior Education Director of the Foundation for Environmental Education, Dr. Pramod Kumar Sharma, who we have requested, and he has kindly consented to participate and share about the organization he comes from, and which leads the EcoSchools program in over 69 countries. And over to you, Pramod, to share your vision of education, and which covers not just EcoSchools but other programs as well, which FE is conducting, and how they are interconnected.
Thank you, Madhvi. You're sharing the screen, Mansi or Khushbu?
Mansi should.
Yeah.
Mansi?
Meanwhile, she's sharing. It's nice to be with you all. I'm now joining you from Ahmedabad. I'm here for my summer vacation, and happy to interact with you all and see such a large number of participants in the EcoSchool program, and also young reporters joining for this webinar. Mansi,
you have the presentation?
No, ma'am.
Oh.
This is just to share.
You can share, sir.
Yeah.
You can share.
I can share the screen. Okay, I will do that. Just a minute. You see my screen now?
Yes. Yes, Prabhu, we can.
Thank you. So a brief about the Foundation for Environmental Education. We are in our 40th year of establishment, and it's one of the largest environmental education organization. It's a member-based organization where we have more than 101 members in around 79 countries. And the idea is basically through the 5 programs that I will be sharing in detail later, focus on hands-on action-based positive. So it's education which is driven by action, and is focusing on the various aspects of sustainability, right from livelihood, income generation, tourism-based program to conserving nature, and the priority that environmental education has in conservation movement. And as I mentioned, we run 5 environmental education programs in the 79 countries through 101 members. And through these programs, currently we are engaging around over 20 million young people. And the Littlest campaign alone engages more than 3 million students over the last 10 years. And there are more than 120 youth-led projects as part of the Global Forest Fund. We divide our programs into 2 sections. So 3 programs are school-based programs. EcoSchool is a well-known program globally and one of the leading programs in environmental education or education for sustainable development in schools. Learning about forest, which is a smaller program compared to EcoSchool, but then is focusing on an important area of outdoor education, which I also feel needs more emphasis, because what we are seeing is that with time, that is getting lesser attention, and especially when we want habits to develop, or a connection to nature, being developed at the early stages of life. Outdoor education is an important component. And in India, we also have the Young Reporters for the Environment. These 3 programs complement each other. They are not competing programs. EcoSchool basically is a base program, and learning about complements it with outdoor education, and Young Reporters is all about thought leadership and development of leadership among young people. And there are 2 tourism-based programs. Blue Flag is being implemented in India and has been awarded to 8 sites. And the other one is Green Key. Both are also labels, and these labels, as any other label, basically drive the change that we want in different sectors. And these are doing in the tourism sectors, and both are global leaders in their own right. The programs at FEE are led by these common principles. These are the 8 principles that drive the program. And first is basically participants in the program are not recipient of knowledge, but they are active participants and they are participating in learning and teaching. And the teachers who or this other people who have been part of the program would have realized that right from teachers to students, everybody is part of the program and bringing about that change. And then the programs are all about empowerment of participants, which help them to take informed decisions on real life issues. All the programs connect to sustainability issues that are around their spaces. And then the third is basically is collaborative. Nobody can work alone to basically address the problems that we have at the global level and the local level. So it is all about collaboration and working together. And then the fourth principle is basically supporting participants to examine their assumption, knowledge, and experience. And as an educator, I firmly believe in that because reflection is an important learning principle. And through reflection only, we can bring about the incremental change that we want in our environmental spheres. And the fifth is basically encouraging participants to be aware of the cultural practice. And culture has been identified as an important principle. And when we talk about sustainability along with environmental, economic, and social dimension, culture is an important dimension which also influences all the 3 dimensions of pillars of sustainability. And then sixth is basically encouraging participants to share inspirational stories and inspire others. And Young Reporters for Environment program is just doing that. That is focusing on getting young people to tell the stories of positive stories of change and bring about solutions and communicate those solutions. And it is all about development because environmental issues are not static, they are changing continuously, and we have to change the programs accordingly. And I will be discussing about now that we are focusing on 3 biggest environmental issues that are in front of us. And the last but not the that is a continuous improvement. There is an incremental change. There is no final, I would say, goal that we are able to achieve because then the goalposts are moving, but then we are not able to solve all the issues or address all the issues. And learning is very big or vast in sustainability. So it's all about continuous change that we want, both in environmental part and also in the educational part of our target group or participants. These are the 3 overarching goals that I mentioned about. We are talking about basically empowering for climate action, focusing on to protect global biodiversity and reducing environmental pollution. And for the next 10 years, we are focusing on these 3 areas as part of the Gaia 2030 strategy. Getting into the 3 programs, Eco School engages the youth basically in the age group of age 4 to 18 in the schools, and the program is called Eco Campus when it's offered at the tertiary level or implemented at the tertiary level. The program runs on a pedagogy and which is basically the 7th step, and this is apart from the green flag, the program is known for this process, which starts with putting children at the center through the formation of an eco committee and then identify the problems or and prioritizing them through the carrying out an environmental review. Based on the review, an action plan is made, and then children then implement that action plan and do the monitoring and evaluation. Linked to curriculum is a step that we have now brought forward, and we encourage teachers to do it immediately after the environmental review because the learning has to be situated in the school system, and finding a separate space is difficult. And we would like schools to basically link whatever they have identified as their action area to the curriculum at different age levels. And then inform and involve. Doing things is important, but then letting others know and inspiring others with your action is also an important step. And this also is also a verbal commitment. When you share your work, you get more committed to that kind of work and continue to do that. And that's what we would like to do as part of Inform and Involve. And all the learning of the year is now then synthesized as eco code, which is the higher order thinking when we say that all the learning comes together, and this drives the values in the school or any educational space that we work in. And this continuous cycle goes on every year. And what I have learned over the years is that it takes a new school about 2 years to master it and understand it. And after 2 years, then they are able to do it perfectly as an educational process. The second program is learning about forest, and it's basically works in outdoor education space, focusing on inspiring young people to know more about nature and spend time in nature, know about that, and then enjoy the connection with nature and create agency. It is being implemented in 26 countries as of now. And it also has 4 steps. The first step is called look and observe, which is very similar to what we say when we say environmental review in eco school, and which is looking at their surrounding and getting to know what is happening and what is there, and then getting deep into it and exploring to basically quench the thirst or of the curiosity of knowing those birds, trees, animals, or anything that they see, and explore those things further, and then analyze and look at basically the challenges those issues are there in terms of biodiversity or in the outdoor, or it could be also any stream or river, and then taking actions to solve those, or what I call agency or function. And through this 4th step, we drive the change, that educational process, we drive the change that we want, both in the children and the environment that is there around us. And young reporters, might be also aware of it. Basically, the project or the program through an annual competition focuses on getting children to talk about and post and create a voice for the environment. It also has a 4-step process, starting with investigating a local issue or following a set criteria, and then researching solution. It's not about just promoting or talking about the problem or creating a journalistic piece or a photograph or a video about a problem, but finding about what can be done, and that research could be from anywhere in the world, and then create that journalistic piece with the problem and a solution, or presenting a solution, and then disseminating it to educate. Dissemination is also an important part. It's just not about clicking a very good picture or making a good video, but taking far and beyond your own sphere of influence to a larger audience, so that people can get more aware about the issue and then take actions. And this is done through a national international competition. And I understand during this webinar we'll be discussing more details about it. As I mentioned, Gaia 2030 is what will be the thematic areas that we'll be working on: empowering climate action, reducing environmental pollution, and looking at global biodiversity. And each one of them also has 4 sub-goals. Global biodiversity will be working on preserving and existing nature areas or forest area. It could be your school grounds, promoting sustainable management in the coastal zones, addressing an important challenge that we are facing in terms of pollinator and insect loss, and raising awareness of and support to remove invasive and alien species. And I would like to highlight that part, because what we are finding that there is, and that's the reason that we have said raise awareness, because there is a lot of misconception about alien species and propagation of biodiversity around the world, and that we need to be more aware of and educate through our school systems. Climate action is looking at starting with our own ways of working, and this webinar is one example. We are trying to reduce our travel and other forms of emission and become more sustainable. And same, we are asking our members in 79 countries, and we will expect our schools who join the program to also follow those policies. Then the second is increasing climate change knowledge and to drive impactful action. And we saw the release of the report of the scientists of IPCC yesterday, and they have been giving warnings again and again. But then those have to be converted into impactful action. And then support action for climate resiliency. That's another aspect, because mitigation is getting a lot of attention, but the adaptation part also needs our equal focus, especially in developing countries where resources and impacts are less, but the impacts are more. And also accelerate the transition to climate neutrality. And in terms of environmental pollution, reduce litter and waste. And already we are doing as part of the Littlest campaign globally. But then we will have to continue working on that, and then promoting responsible production and consumption. And then the third one is also important because there is a less realization of invisible pollutants, which are there in our toilets, are released from our kitchen sinks, or also there in our air and other which are not visible like plastic, but then are equally dangerous to our health. And the fourth one, which is basically raising an awareness around circular economy model. EcoSchool, in partnership with Center for Environmental Education, has developed educational material, and we'll be doing webinars, and a course is already on our T Academy to educate educators about circular economy and how they can help advance circular economy through education. So I believe together we can change the world. And thank you for your interest to join the program, and look forward to your participation and new learning from you all.
Thank you, Pramod. Yeah, stop sharing with me.
I stopped sharing.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Pramod. And that gives a very succinct overview of the way all the programs function. And I'm sure the teachers would have a lot of questions at the end as well. So thanks again, and I request you to stay for this further presentations that happen on the EcoSchools program today. Yes, Mansi, can we see the slides? Yeah, so moving on, I thought we should, I would like to briefly talk about the institution, the Center for Environment Education. So many of you may be involved in our programs we've been doing over the years. Just overview for those who are associating with us new today. And so CEE was formed as set up as a center of excellence in environmental education, and was of the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and it was established in 1984. It is a national institution. The headquarters is in Ahmedabad, and our mandate is to provide environmental education nationwide through different methods. We work with schools, we work with universities, we work with decision makers, work with communities in urban and rural areas, and have different methods and approaches to work with these different kinds of stakeholder groups. So as you could see in the map, there are different methods and ways in which we work with a number of groups across the country. Next, please. I also wanted to just share with you a short video of our director who talks about this institution, how it was formed, and some of our programs. Yes, Mansi, please. Just check the volume. Mansi?
Yeah, just a minute.
Yeah, sure. Please bear with us. We just start. Is there a problem?
Yeah, ma'am. I think we can skip this part.
All right, we can share it on the YouTube. I think we'll share the link with you all to get in more information. Can we see the slideshow? So talking about CEE, it is for those who are in Ahmedabad, it is located on the Thaltesh Tekra, and it's a 14-acre beautiful green campus. And whoever, you're most welcome to visit it whenever you are in Ahmedabad, for those who are not from the city. And we've been working in environmental education, especially with schools, since the year we were formed, and starting from focusing on the role of teachers, especially looking at the role teachers can play in terms of facilitation of environmental education in their schools, to being partners in the process of education and developing material, to working with students, focusing on action plans. And so this has been a journey over the years with schools especially. Mansi, I'm not able to see the presentation. Yeah, please.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So now I will go on to the overview of the EcoSchools program. Pramod has mentioned most of it, so I will go very quickly through this. Yes, please. Next. So the global it's a global program, as you know, and it's focusing on encouraging young people to find solutions of environmental issues and raising awareness of sustainable development through both classroom and community action. So studying in it is a project-based learning. It is about finding solutions and taking action. Next, please. The program was launched in India in 2014-15, and since then we started off small, but then we now have a large number of schools, over 100 schools involved in the EcoSchools program. Next, please. It's a 3-year international certification program, and targets class 1 to 5, age group 6 to 12 years so far. We also have a younger age group, the Planet Discovery Center, which are preschoolers. So that's one school we have who are very young children as part of the EcoSchools program. It's offered to state boards, different boards that are present in India, including the state board, CBSE, ICSE, International, IB, and others. And as I said, more than 100 schools are part of this program. We have structured it into 5 themes so that the schools can focus on some of these themes which are of high relevance to what we see around us. And these include waste, water, healthy living, energy, and biodiversity. It follows the 7 steps methodology, as mentioned by Pramod earlier. And we have a process of assessment for thematic handprint flags and green flag awards. So the green flag awards are the international ones, and the handprint flag awards are the ones that are given by CE, have been instituted in India for schools that successfully complete one theme. So these EcoSchool themes are linked to the Sustainable Development Goals, and directly each of these is, for instance, the water is linked to clean water and sanitation, and also good health, and a number of others. So these are the direct linkages of these following themes of water, healthy living, energy, waste, and biodiversity. Next, please. Basically, the word handprint is about looking at action for sustainability, and it evolved through a young child from one of our schools, and which was part of our projects. And this idea was to look at environmental solutions instead of looking at environmental problems only. And therefore, why are we just looking at footprint, but why not handprint? And that's how it was it was introduced at the 4th International Conference on Environmental Education of UNESCO, which was held at Ahmedabad in 2007. And now the handprint has been adopted across, and including the FEE programs which talk about handprint in across the world. So it's a concept that emerged from India and has gone global. And we believe that this is a very powerful way in which a school can actually take up action individually and as a community. Next, please. And what does Eco Schools India offer to the schools and the students? We follow a project-based learning, which is a very hands-on interactive approach that the schools and the teachers and the students would undertake. There is a training for teachers to facilitate this program in schools. Today is an orientation to the program. It's like an overview, but then there will be another training for teachers to facilitate it in your schools. We have developed formats which would help roll it out in your schools, do your reporting, do your activities and document them. It also has project ideas and other material that would be useful to you. We have a website on which the Eco Schools has a website on which this material is available. We also have a WhatsApp group for teachers and for people who are involved in the Eco Schools program. The curriculum mapping is available. We have been working with various boards, and we have mapped the curriculum and connected the lesson plans that are available on our website to the curriculum. Also online support and guidance through our various groups, and also on telephone whenever you want to. We are always available for any support that would be required in terms of the running of the program. There's a chance to participate in international webinars and organized by us, by FEE and other partners. And we do try and involve schools which are active in sharing what you have learned, what you do in your schools in these webinars. So there is a great amount of learning that happens for those who participate in these webinars, and also for those who listen to you. As I mentioned, the handprint and green flag awards have to be earned. So there is a reporting mechanism and a review mechanism for these awards that are given to the schools. We also have both FEE Academy has courses focused on the 7-step methodology, which you should definitely, each one of you should participate in. CE Academy is also offering courses, and very soon we will be starting with our Green Teacher course focusing on sustainability education. There is also possibility of e-twinning and working with other international partners, national and international partners and programs. Next, please. Also, what other benefits besides what I mentioned is that this is an opportunity for students to learn and identify. So actively get involved in their school and in immediate community issues, and look at a solution, trying to find solutions. That provides you with a improved school environment, and there is more environmental awareness, and the program has a way in which you need to measure that also. So you see tangible change in your school. It definitely helps develop leadership qualities among the children, and the school gets a chance to take leadership in in environmental improvement and action. There is, of course, the curriculum. I mean, as Pramod rightly said, that this is not an add-on, but a way in which to connect your curriculum and gives you ideas in using some of the hands-on activities and making those linkages to real life situations. What they are learning. We also provide the right to use EcoSchools logo on your school stationery and other merchandise. There would be a communication regarding that, on how to do that. And you also get a chance through your projects to save. Say, for instance, working on energy conservation, you can really save money and for your schools. And there are also opportunities to seek funding for environmental action projects. So we support, and also the schools themselves can actually look for opportunity to seek funding. The certificate is valid for 3 years, and you can use it on all your stationery and documents and share it widely. We also, of course, I've already mentioned about the national and international linkages and certification. So the benchmarking, especially, I must say this, the way the review happens, it's an international benchmarking, and you're actually assessed on par with a lot of other international schools that participate in this program. Next, please. So how do you participate? There is a registration link on the website, and I request Mansi to also put it in the chat box, so you can copy it from there. You can visit our website and register. Nomination of EcoSchools teacher in charge. A teacher has to be nominated to run the activities in your schools. We will orient teachers on the 7-step methodology. And I request you to join the FEE 7-step methodology, FEE Academy 7-step methodology course. And that would give you a very detailed information on the 7-step methodology. Followed by forming an eco committee with 30 to 35 members. And you choose a theme-wise. Every committee can be a different committee according to the themes. You can decide up to 3 themes or more in your school per year. And schools can conduct activities. We have pre-designed templates, lesson plans, etc. But you don't have to only do those, but at least do those, but add to it also. We keep learning and evolving along with our schools, teachers and principals. And there is a format for documentation and reporting. And the submission deadline for that report is March 2022. So you start now and you complete by March 2022. There is a contribution expected from each school to become a part of the EcoSchools program. How do you register? I mentioned that already. There is a website, www.ecoschools.in, and this is where you register now, is where you click, and the form will open and you'll be able to register. Next, please. So remember that you will get a unique email ID and password in the EcoSchools website, which will give you access to all the resources and the information on activity sheets, etc. Also, all important information related to the program will be on that site. So ensure that you remember your unique email ID and password, and it would be unique to your school. Also, observation sheets, etc. are available on the site. Next, please. I mentioned this already. The handprint flag is provided it's a thematic one, which is all. You can see these different colors, and so there will be different flag for different theme. And the international green flag happens only after you achieve 3 handprint flags. A certificate to Green Flag awarded school and eco committee is provided, and the handprint flag are messengers of good practices. So it's a positive message that is given from using these flags. Next, please. And this is the kit that you get along with your Green Flag Award and Handprint Flag Award. So there are certification, there is a small flag, and there is a large flag. You also get a larger flag once you have gone ahead of, once you've got a small flag, you can also get a larger flag. So there are levels to that as well. Next, please. Okay, so I will stop here and hand over to Preeti, my colleague, who can, or maybe Mansi should introduce Preeti before she starts. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for briefly describing about the Eco Schools program, its objective and its benefits linking to SDGs and assessment and certification. Moving ahead to our next session, which is all about the pedagogy of Eco Schools program. Preeti Rawat, ma'am, Senior Program Director of Center for Environment Education, Northern Regional Cell and Himalayan Initiative. Over to you, Preeti, ma'am.
Thank you, Mansi. Very good evening to all the teachers who are participating in today's workshop. Like how Eco Schools program happen in a school, we will be now touching in this session. Pramodji and Madhviji has already talked about what is this program and what approach we take. So here we will be looking at how as a school, when you join the program, what pedagogy you need to follow. So next slide, please. So you have listened to Pramod talking about 7-step methodology. This is the main like steps which once you join as a eco school, you will require to be follow all these 7 steps. These are mandatory to become a eco school. So you need to understand each step and how you can integrate in these steps into the way you are working and looking at and implementing environmental education program. So like first step, or like as you can see, this is a circular model, so you have to see what can be done in what order. But we usually suggest that you form an eco committee as soon as you register and a teacher in charge is selected. And then once eco committee is formed, you form a team of students who can carry on the environmental review. In between, we also suggest to teachers that they should orient students to conduct the environmental review, because they will not be able to review choose a theme and work on those themes and find out what is the situation in their school campus, and look at, like, for example, if they are looking at water or energy, they need to understand what are these themes, what are we looking at, and why are we looking at this information. So that is required. And as this review process happens, it is important to also connect it with the curriculum, because there are a lot of concepts in primary section, especially for classes 3 to 5, where EVS is taught, and in I think all the boards there are different concepts which are coming in like EVS, as well as languages and mathematics, which can be easily connected to what children are doing. The next is, like, once you have connected it with curriculum and analyze the environmental review, you do an environmental action plan. So what do we want to do after understanding the situation? So that a plan is made by children, and then those are implemented like in consultation with the eco committee. So there is like a lot of activities in the 7-step process are connected. Once this implementation starts, eco committee and the students team and the teacher as school management monitor and evaluate, are we going in right direction, are there any lessons or mid-course corrections need to be done. And then once the results start coming, we inform and involve, we share results and we share information with different target groups, what is kind of results we are seeing. For example, if you have analyzed so much of water is being wasted on the campus, and through your action plan you are able to save that water, so you could definitely share this information with pride that our school was able to save so many liters of water. So this is how this step is supposed to work in the 7-step methodology. And based on overall activities and done under the 7-step process, and through discussions, a school team and eco committee decide what kind of eco charter we would like to have for our eco school, or our school, looking at from the point of view how eco-friendly or how environmental friendly our campus is. So this is this is in brief about the 7-step methodology. We will be looking at a short video which also explains how the 7-step happens. So I'll request Mansi to play the video.
I think, ma'am, we can provide YouTube
Uh,
link to them.
Yeah, so what I'll suggest, Mansi, you can stop sharing. I have that video open, so I'll just show them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a famous Native American proverb that goes, "We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children." Borrow, 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 borrow. That's right, we are borrowing from the future generation. And look at the situation we're in. Uh-oh. Uh-huh. Is there something we can do about it? There certainly is. In over 50 countries across the world, passionate young people like you and I are leading other students and even some teachers, school staff, and parents in what is known as the Eco Schools program. This program puts us in charge. We decide what we need to learn about the environment and how we should protect it. The first step is to establish an Eco Schools committee consisting of students as the core and adult members supporting us. Then, together, we investigate the environmental issues faced by the school and our community in what is called an environmental review. We'll soon realize that there is a lot we can do to improve how we treat the environment and use resources. To make things manageable, we'll need to choose just one or two eco themes to focus on. The third step is to discuss our findings, consult, decide on an eco theme, exchange ideas, and finally, together, draw up a detailed action plan based on the theme. And get to work! As we work, we monitor our progress. That is the crucial step 4. With the right support from our teachers, we can proceed to step 5, where our teachers plan lessons to give us the knowledge and skills needed to implement the action plan. Slowly, we can get the whole school, neighborhood, and maybe even the entire town involved. Informing and involving is step 6. The last and final step is to draw an eco code. This can be a motto, song, or drawing that represents our school's commitment to the environment. After we've gone through the 7 steps, though awards may come our way, the real reward for our effort is in the everyday joys. The Eco Schools program by WWF Malaysia. Be the change that a sustainable world needs. Did someone say be?
Mansi, you can share now. So with this discussion on like 7-step process and which we need to follow as an eco school, and then looking at this video, I believe you must have got a lot of clarity on how this program implementation happens and how do we apply this pedagogy in the school. So talking about more in details how like all these steps can be followed at your school. So in this video, it is mentioned that there is a committee formed where we have students, we have teachers, parents. For example, from social like school team, you can have social media in charge who can help us like help the school in sharing the information what children are doing. Then we can have invitee members also. While doing the environmental review, this program focuses on 5 themes in India, where we suggest that for environmental review, all the 5 themes are to be taken up as for research and analyzing different issues in the school campus. It was very interesting to share here because last 2 years there is a COVID situation, and we have been working with a lot of schools with this Eco Schools program. From the name, it suggests that it's a school-based program, but when it comes to like in the situation where we were, and like schools were very keen to take up activities, so we have like adapted the entire program where the 7-step methodology could be done whether when even children and teachers are at home and online classes are going on. So those activities were adapted where children could do it at home, take up these environmental review activities with their parents, and have committee meetings or say Zoom, like online meeting too. So that was also done. So it's not that it was also new for us in terms of an institution how to look at a campus based program, which is a school sustainability campus program, where we could look into how children, by staying at home, and they can bring change and look review environmental situation in their own sphere of where they live, and also impact their neighborhood, and like there is a connection between what happens to school with the society. So this could happen. So here what we suggest is like all 5 themes to be taken for the review, and with that review teacher can also look at what are the common linkages where different subjects are being taught, and how subjects could be linked, and how non-formal learning spaces. There are also lot of space available in terms of extracurricular activities which could be very easily connected to Eco Schools program. Then based on the analysis done through this 5 theme review, school eco committee and students could decide which 3 themes they would like to take up as part of their action plan. And this their like different targets, and what we want to achieve, what are the objective, who will take what responsibility is decided. Then once we start implementing this action plan, there are also, like say example, there are yardsticks, like we want to complete these activities by this date. So there is like you can monitor and evaluate your targets and see what has been achieved and what kind of changes we want to make. And as we go in the action plan, there are a lot of learnings emerging from these activities. It could be children taking even doing environmental review, implementing a lot of activities at the school campus or at home. So those could be shared not only through social media, or not only through school's website, but also using like school magazine, newsletter, even writing to newspapers. So those all methods could be used to inform community and society what positive action, what handprint action your school is taking up as to become an eco school. And then in the entire process, we encourage children and teachers to think about what kind of eco code or eco charter you would like to have. As video suggested, that you can have a poem, you can have a slogan, you could have very different formats children can come up with, which can be taken up. There is one school where they have come up, the children have come up with a song, very nice song, which they have decided that all the three themes which they were focusing on were that song was written by students, and they have also composed it. So it was really wonderful to see how creatively children can come up with the eco code. Next slide, please. So when we say that this is, as Madhuben has also said, that this is not an add-on program, this supplements what you are doing at your school. So there are a lot of skills which are also listed in as an learning outcome in our curriculum that we want our children to learn. So there are a lot of things which are based on these subjects, like we want children to be familiar, like they should be able to read, write, and express, and able to communicate. Apart from that, in mathematical, we will say that they should be able to calculate, estimate, analyze, and also think about it. And in EVS, there are a lot of dimensions which we want to bring in while they are doing, while you are teaching a lot of subjects. So with this Eco Schools program, you will be able to actually put more focus on a lot of things which are usually not provided as in the curricular sphere. So by joining Eco Schools program, you will be able to help children to work in team, because there is a committee formed, and then children are forming teams and reviewing the entire campus. Once the results they receive and understand what is the situation in the campus, they will start thinking how can the problem be solved. While doing the review, they will observe a lot of things. They will learn how to classify information, debate what action can be taken up while designing a plan. They will be able to discuss, negotiate, and a lot of things they will be able to do while doing the entire Eco School 7-step process. Next, please. So there are these are a few pictures where children are taking up different activities, whether it is biodiversity or waste or say water, and like staying healthy, healthy lives as one of the theme. So these are some a glimpse of activities which children have taken. Next, please. Here we are giving few ideas which schools have been taking up and coming up with a lot of other handprint actions. So this is just to give an idea, like in different themes, what kind of activities can be taken up by school or at home, looking at the current situation when we are having online classes. So like looking at how can we segregate waste and compost it, then kitchen garden can be formed, or looking at like reuse, reduce, and recycling of waste. How do we celebrate eco-friendly festivals, also environmental days, and we also encourage children to go for eco-friendly even birthday celebrations, so that they understand that the values which are like inculcated during the Eco Schools program, they are able to decide what practices and what kind of lifestyle and choices they want to make. So this could be a very interesting way which usually schools take up during their entire annual academic calendar. With the current situation, they could also look at making homemade masks, homemade sanitizers, conduct cleanup drives, and also look at other options. So these are few ideas of individual as well as collective handprint actions which schools can take up. Next. So thank you so much. I will hand over to Mansi again.
Thank you so much, Priti ma'am. Moving ahead to our last session of this orientation, which is implementation of Eco Schools program in schools. I would like to invite Ms. Khushbu Shah, Project Coordinator of Eco School program. She has experience of 8 years in the field of education and sustainable development. She has been working with Eco School program since 2018. Over to you, Khushbu ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Mansi. This is about the implementation of the Eco School program in school, I am sure that all are very curious about how exactly we are going to, do under the Eco School program. So now this session would be that only. Next slide. So now already Pramod sir, Preeti ma'am already mentioned about the 7-step methodology in detail. So now is our turn to how to conduct this Eco School program in our school. So after the registration on our website, you will get our unique password and ID to access all the materials which are already available on our website. So starting with the first, making the eco committee, that Preeti ma'am already suggested that the eco committee will have a 25 to 30 students, but make sure teachers you have 50% of the girls and 50% of the boys ratio in our eco committee, and 5 to 6 teachers from grade 1 to 5, and also the management person, social media person, and so on. And I think for making an eco committee will require exactly 15 to 20 days or might be 1 month for making an eco committee. Then we are with the help of the eco committee, the teacher in charge who are the eco school coordinator from the schools are going to orient the entire eco committee in terms of exactly thematic understanding and in terms of the exactly what is the 7-step methodology in detail. So teacher could be orient our eco school committee, and then eco school committee proceed with review process. So already Preeti ma'am has suggested that we have to experiment in the 5 thematic review process, and after thematic review process we have to decide 3 themes in which area schools wanted to go ahead in terms of environmental issues in locals and surroundings area. Okay, then after that each and every school it will require exactly 3 to 4 months to complete all the process. And yes, 7-step will require more than 3 to 4 months. So total step 1, step 2, and step 3 will require approximately 4 to 5 months. And then this is the more after this is the most important point is what is after this, how we are going to submit this entire process. So submission is also important in terms of reporting and documentation. So it will require exactly 1 month to submit all this process. And then this submission will not in form of only reporting. We have a green flag application where the teachers and with the help of eco committee should document their handprint actions and the experience in terms of the green flag application format. So exactly this implementation process would require 10 months to complete the entire eco school cycles. So we would expect that if you are joining from the August 1st week, let's say August 2nd week, then the March 2021, 2022, we would have that submission of the eco school program. So this is the how the implementation cycle would run under the eco school program. Next slide, please. So we have teacher resources which are already available in our website, but as Madhuri ma'am already pointed out that it is not only the material which we have to follow, but we can also think out of the box, and we can also make our lesson plan in terms of any themes. So what EcoSchool website is providing, we have a detailing about the themes. We have also description of each and activity, thematic activity with the all themes. We have also curriculum mapping with the different subjects. I mean to say, if we are talking about grade 1 to 5, the which concept we are going to cover under this eco school. So each and every steps is also mentioned in our website. We have a action plan templates of each and every themes, and also assessment criteria and the green flag application format. I will later brief about what is exactly assessment criteria and a green flag application would require. Other than this, we have also lesson plan for grade 1 to 5 in terms of litter and waste theme. And other than this, we have also Joy of Learning booklet, which is hands-on experiential and inquiry-based learning for the students, and it is for grade 1 to 5. So it is all things which are available on our website too. Yeah, next slide. So now talking about the EcoSchool portfolio, it's our last step of this entire EcoSchool program. So it is very important because in this portfolio, you have to record and showcase your work under handprint action and under your EcoSchool program. So it is very important things, and report will be used to the assessment. This report will be going to use by our assessment team to get your green flag award and might be handprint flag award. So EcoSchool portfolio has a section A. In section A, you have to just mention about the school profile in terms of how many numbers of students and boys and girls in your schools, and might be in which board you are school presenting. And is part A. B has a school and learner context, which we have just put a very simple question like in which surrounding your school area and what is the physical and natural environment of the school. Then part B has the implementation of the EcoSchool program. We have just glimpse of this EcoSchool program, how you are going to do with the 7-step methodology, what are the roles of the stakeholders in your EcoSchool program, how you are going to reach out to the community as a mass level, which is a part of the inform and involve, and which platform you are using to reaching out the community. So in the section B that we are going to document. Then the section C has the evidence, which in terms of the photographs or might be videos or might be reports in any good, you have to just upload all the photographs and videos on the section C. Then the section D would require details of the implementation in terms of if you have any facing any challenges, if you have any experiencing other than you have any case study to showcase to us. So you have to upload all this detail in the section D. Then the section E is also important because let's say some of the schools already get a green flag award, but after the green flag award, how you are going to sustaining this EcoSchool program. So you have to mention in the section E part. Yeah, next slide. Then after the submission, our assessment team would come to your place or might be offline or might be online. It's based off of our situation. Then the assessment part would come. Here I'm just showing you what is the exactly assessment criteria and which are the indicators we are going to follow under the EcoSchool program. So in this criteria, we have a total 100 scores. out of 100 schools, school has to get 85 scores to get a green flag award. So here we are also putting a major pointing system that audit has a 10-point, action plan has a 20-point, and the inform and involve part has also 20-point. So this is the how the assessment criteria will going to assess by assessment assessor. And if you will join FE and CE academic course, then you will get also extra point for this green flag application. So this is how the evaluation process would come. And yeah, this is the how the entire program would run, starting from making the eco committee to dissemination and the reporting and writing. So yeah, this is the how the entire session would run. Next slide. Now let's hear some eco school educator and leader reflection about what they are thinking about the eco school program. So first, I would like to invite Miss Vanima Luthra ma'am. She is a principal of ASN Senior Secondary School, Delhi. This school recently has been certified with the Green Flag Award. Miss Luthra has an extensive professional experience in this field of education. She has a wide experience of designing and successful implementation of integrated curricula, innovative and pedagogical strategies, project-based learning, in order to inculcate the core values of environmental and consequence. She is a climate reality leader who is actively involved in the sustainable environmental education. So now, floor is your, ma'am.
Thank you, Khushbu-ji. And I would like to thank CE for inviting me as a panelist for orientation for Eco School program. Thank you so much from the core of my heart to each one of you, the director and everybody associated. Thank you so much. See, friends, we all know that Ban Ki-moon rightly said, we just have plan, we do not have plan B. So for what are we waiting? So it's all educators who will have to take care that this education for sustainable development, that is a key focus area. And we all require to integrate within our curriculum. And that can only possible if we as educators really take up those steps by listening. These are not sermons. Just think it, these are the actionables we all need to inculcate within our students. And small nuggets, if we start up within the school system, definitely these learning strategies, they are going to be effectively implemented. And the conceptual knowledge children they'll be getting by introducing these programs within your school system will really bring long-term goal within our system. They'll be able to set in their mind that what all they need to do. Ultimately, we are preparing them for life, not only for just doing, not only for bookish knowledge and other things. So friends, I really believe that after joining this program, we were successfully been able to implement even the smallest of the smallest group of our students, which none of the renowned organization also takes up. But this organization has given that our small students were able to really become the change makers. The kind of self-confidence that has been developed in the students by engaging those students, staff, and the community at large has really brought positive actions and behavior in them. And I feel that the seamless integration of this program has really empowered the students. And the lockdown was not a small thing, it was a big thing, but still we were able to successfully implement this program within that time also. My students, they really worked upon with the system, and at home itself, they were able to analyze whatever the teachers they were guiding them, and definitely by the support of CE and the main support of FE also behind that. So the program has not only given us the global platform, but also provided for engaging the youngest section of the school, which I've already told you that leaving no one behind, because see, there are organizations which really work for the senior students, where I have only senior students becoming the change makers. But this very organization has really ignited my younger students. So right from when the seeds are being sown at the youngest age, so the fruit is, I would say that's a better one, because to change the mindset each at the later stage is difficult. But when we are training the students right from the beginning, when those lesson plans have already been ready, you just have to enroll in the program and everything is so much ready. They have worked so much, CA and FA, they worked so much hard for preparing all those plans. So I really tell you, it was really a remarkable journey for all of us to travel. And I really appreciate the 7 steps methodology, which it has not only helped in introducing this thing, but with other things also, it has really helped me and my students, my teachers. And the best part that is younger students like their counter senior partners have learned beyond the boundaries of the school. So invigorating each one in the school. And I'm proud that the comprehensive and extensive hands-on projects and activities that has already been spoken by Dr. Pramod, Khushbu ji, and other panelists also. It has really ignited the learners to do by their own. We need not tell them again and again, do this, do that. They have become the self-directed learners. So the projects and the activities have really ignited the students to work more for the environment. And the handprints, the green flag, when the CE converted us, so really motivated the students to work more for such things. And it gives me entire satisfaction that I am really preparing my students standing at the global standard, and they are each day going through the whole process is so much enlightening. See, when we reach a certain destination, then we are happy. But in this process, I would say my students each day were learning something of the new things. So each day that satisfaction was coming to me as well, to the students. When they were sending me those photographs, rightly said by previous panelists about showcasing the work. So students, they were quite happy that what kind of stuff they are doing that normal students, they can't do. So just make it key. Each and every child is feeling so much contented about that they are doing something for the environment. And at such a young age, developing those responsible behavior has really made them socially responsible citizens of the nation and the world at large. So in the end, I would say the participating teachers, that this is a journey worth taking. And as a facilitator, you all are unparalleledly invested in developing sustainable mindsets. So looking forward that this journey would be a never-ending journey for each one of us, for all the participants, for the facilitators also, and for the students also, because we want to give our further Gen Next a better world to live in and better earth to live in. So looking forward for that. And thank you once again, CE and FE, for giving me the opportunity to discuss my journey. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening us. Yeah, I agree with you. It is very important to imbibe the knowledge of the environment and its conservation in our young minds. Thank you so much. Now, moving ahead, I would like to invite our Eco School coordinator, Ms. Stacy Leaks. She is an Eco School coordinator and she joined Universal Thane, Mumbai in 2010 as a mathematics teacher. She is actively involved in both the British Council program and the Eco School program. She firmly believes that all the power is given from above and all activities require the holistic teamwork. Yeah. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Khushbu. So good evening to one and all. As teachers, we always plan ahead. But what happens when an unforeseen pandemic hits us? So this is our journey. We would like to share our Eco School program with you. Just a moment. So the theme that was waste, learning outcomes, responsibility, empathy, and intrapersonal skills. We collected 2,400 kilos of newspapers and donated it to Samad Bharat Vyaspeed, an NGO that is working religiously for the education of street children and also the environment. What we got back in return from our students were the parents and students who made homemade sanitizers and masks and contributed it to their community helpers, and also made bird feeders for the environment. Healthy living at home, learning outcomes, respect diverse cultures, communication, and collaboration. Our students shared a very healthy snack with our friends in Afghanistan. We also created our own hand washing reward chart to promote the importance of washing hands, especially during this pandemic. This is biodiversity, an in-house case study that we conducted in school, from seed to fruit, learning outcomes, love for nature, responsibility, reasoning, discovery. We discovered that pure neem oil is very good to get rid of pests. And what we got in return from our students during the pandemic, same learning outcomes, love for nature, responsibility, reasoning, discovery. Although not all the plants reached their fruit-bearing stage, students were very excited to share their joyful experience of nurturing plants during this pandemic, because they had, apart from online learning, they had some other activity to keep themselves busy. So this was a beautiful experience that they shared with us. And lastly, I'd like to share a beautiful story, or rather a gift that was given to us during this journey that we had last year. Our student Viraj was so inspired by the biodiversity of birds that he encouraged his parents to document their lovebirds. So, sorry, they documented right from the laying of eggs to hatching to the growth of the birds. So we, in our school, what I would like to share with all of you all is that for 2 years, we made a plan, okay, and then we didn't know what to do during the pandemic. But then we realized that our children were so inspired by Eco School program that their journey through the first 2 years, they gave it back to us on the online platform. And I'm taking this opportunity actually to thank our children and our teachers that, they worked holistic. Like I said, every activity requires a holistic teamwork. Everybody needs to join hands to make something, to let it evolve. And this is what I would like to share with you. This is what our students gave back to us. And we are very proud and we are very happy for very happy that Eco School program, that we joined the Eco School program and we were able to experience something like this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your handprint action with us. And that was indeed actually inspiration. We got to know how the Eco School program with skill-based education, with interrelate with the skill-based education and contributes towards the handprint action. Yeah, thank you so much. Now I would like to invite our he's in grade 4, Lavya Patel. He is one of the member of our Eco committee from Nanda Vidyaniketan. And he is very passionate about his work. And yeah, Lavya, now floor is yours.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, am I audible and visible?
Yes, Lavya. You can
Yes,
start.
ma'am. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Good evening to everyone. My name is Lavya Patel, studying in grade 4 from Nanda Vidyaniketan. Believing that we are the change, the young warriors of Nanda Vidyaniketan under the flagship of CEE ensure to be the change. We have done an exceptional job following 7 steps framework of Eco School, which helped us to have continuous growth in the handprint actions. They are established the Eco School committee consisting of the students as core team and other members supporting them. Then we investigate the environmental issues, mainly healthy living, waste management, and biodiversity. After which we discuss and decide the action plan with the help of our teachers, which are practical as well as effective. As we work further, we monitor our progress also. We conduct regular meetings and discuss the environmental actions to be taken and also share the results with the rest of the members. Then the activities that we perform are uploaded on social media platform and we share the link with our friends and family too. And also, whenever we get an opportunity to share and spread awareness, we feel so happy that we are able to do our bit. We inform and involve the whole school and also reach out to the community in this manner. In fact, these activities are one important way to encourage and increase our involvement towards a better environment. These are sometimes so rewarding, especially when we are given responsibilities to make our own decisions and opportunities to improve our environment. At last, I would bring an eco code. We engage ourselves in fun, action oriented, and socially responsible learning. The activity is so weaved in the curriculum, the students don't even realize that they are performing the activities. With the honor of winning the Handprint Award and the CEE's Green Flag Award comes great responsibility. We try our best to live up to the expectations of the recognition and strive to be better. At last, I would like to conclude with a quote. Progress is impossible without change, and those who change their minds and habits can change everything. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you, Lavya. Thank you so much. Yes, Lavya is indeed a student with the clear goal of making our living more sustainable. He is confident enough and bringing with ideas, so many ideas. Now, I hand over to Mansi to take it forward with the next question answer session.
Yeah, thank you so much, Khushbu ma'am. Before leading to end of this session, I would like to mention about our ongoing opportunities in EcoSchools program. The first one is Little Less campaign. Little Less campaign is a joint initiative of Mars Wrigley Foundation and Foundation for Environmental Education, originally started in 2011. Center for Environment Education is the national operator of the campaign in India. The overall goal of LLC campaign is to reduce litter and positively affect long-term behavior change among global youth. This campaign is open for mid-grade students, and also this year we have launched this campaign for informal groups like eco clubs, Rotary clubs, Scouts and Guides, etc. As you can see that Little Less campaign is also implemented through the 7-step methodology, same as in EcoSchool program. You can find the registration link in the chat box. The second opportunity in EcoSchool in CE program is the Young Reporters for the Environment. Young Reporters for the Environment aims to empower young people to take an educated stand on environmental issues, focusing on SDGs, and to give them a platform to articulate these issues through the medium of writing article, photography, or video. YRE engages participant age between 11 to 25, which is grade 6 and above, in environment-focused citizen journalism, looking at the issues, problems, and solutions, and lastly, the reporting. We would like to invite our all educators for YRE orientation session, which has been organized tomorrow. You may join the workshop on 12th of August at 4 p.m. The registration link for joining this webinar is in our chat box. Now we are open for Q&A session. You may post your question and queries regarding this EcoSchool program and other opportunities in chat box or Q&A section.
Mansi, there are already some questions which I think I will read out.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute. There's so much of noise in this one. Have to look for the right question. Okay, so there is one question, and I think it's more logistics related. It says a school from Nirma Vidya Vihar have registered with your program 2 days ago, but the message flashed, we will contact you soon. So that will happen. No? Khushbu, you will answer?
Yes, ma'am. I will directly coordinate with her. And
okay.
Yeah.
So now there's another question which is more of a programmatic. It says committee should include students from classes 1 to 5 or from classes 3 to 5.
Yeah, I would like to share that. It's up to school can decide. The program is for grade 1 to 5. So So students is from grade 1 to 5 is always welcome. And if you have don't have a grade 1 and 2, then you can absolutely find for 3 to 5 classes as well. Because the next question is also coming for this lineup.
Yeah. So there is another question which was in the Q&A, and it asks us about whether we are only focusing on 1 to 5, or are we not looking at higher grades?
Ma'am, you can answer this.
No, so what I have said is that we are considering, and we definitely will be letting them know soon. So that is under consideration to go into higher classes. But 1 to 5 definitely we've been working with this group, and we had done a program with 6 to 8 last year, which was focused on waste management. So some material for that age class is also available. So those schools who may be interested in higher classes can let us know. And if we have a substantial number, we will definitely consider that. Okay, so there's whether if the school has won a handprint award, whether they can participate in this program again, and definitely yes, they can. There are teachers are asking if they can get a link of this today's orientation and the PPT.
Yeah, ma'am, we will soon upload on our social media handle and email ID, registered email ID.
Right. So, so there is some question saying, I see reference to a group. Is this a WhatsApp group? Please share the link to join this group. So you will be sharing the WhatsApp group link as well, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's actually not a WhatsApp group. It's a broadcast group. Okay. So yeah, so I will add registration number, contact number in our WhatsApp broadcast group.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then we have a message from Dr. Pramod Sharma saying, amazing. I have more energy now to support the program. So that's, thank you so much, Pramod. We also have the YRE orientation tomorrow. The registration link has been shared by Arzu. Please, we would really love you to join the program tomorrow. It is for classes 6th onwards. It is not just 6 to 8, but it is 6th onwards. 11 to 24 is the age group. Okay, so each grade has to do 3 themes. It is mandatory. Can we do for each grade? That's up to the school, I think. Yeah.
Yes,
so you can decide on what works for your school, and but you can go for 5 themes as well if you want to.
Yeah, you can go for 5 themes in terms of review process. Then they have to narrow which 3 themes they are actually working for first year.
So we have noticed that more than 3 themes is difficult for the school because the kind of time that you have, I think it would be easier for you to work on it. Yes, we already have a WhatsApp group with registered numbers, so we will be sharing that with you. How to go with this in online sessions? We will be that will happen in our teachers training program. We will definitely share more material and more detailed information in terms of the sessions that they will happen this year. It's so uncertain that we may have to make a lot of changes in terms of how the program rolls out. Some schools may be having offline, and some schools will not be able to start. So we will have to kind of play it by the ear, and hopefully, I mean, we'll receive your support. We hope so. Is personal registration possible in YRE? Yes, it is. Individual registration is possible, as well as a school registration is possible. What if we work on 4 themes? Please do. For us, minimum 3 themes is mandatory. I have done registration, but did not ask for phone number. So that is one question. And then when are we going to get login ID or password?
Yeah. If the registration process is completed, then after 1 week, we are going to provide you email ID and with the unique password to access all the materials.
Okay. There's another interesting question. Some of the activities like skit in public places is not possible online. So any suggestions regarding that? Well, I must say, I I think Swarnima ma'am might be able to also suggest, because in her school we saw this kit being done by children who were at their homes, and they had planned it in such a way that they were able to kind of organize it.
What we did, we all recorded at the different places, and
Right.
that merged, and that was shown to all the school students and all the stakeholders at large, society at large,
Absolutely.
in RWAs and all those things. Students took the
Correct.
initiative in showing to their places, because we forwarded them to all. That
So very interesting ways, methods. I'm sure the schools, you guys are very, very creative, and I'm sure we learn from you as well. Any ideas we have, we'll share definitely. And how many maximum teachers we can include, please involve the whole school. So I think we need a contact per point, but then that contact point can involve any number of teachers you want to involve in running this program successfully in your school. So for us, one person's contact details is more than enough for EcoSchools. So I think these are the questions, and there are more questions in Q&A. I'll just go through them quickly. Okay, is there any student limit, Khushbu?
Actually, this program is after the whole school approach program. So there is nothing like a students limit, but for the eco committee, yes, we need to select 30 to 35 students for the eco committee.
Yeah. So you might want to kind of divide the number of students according to themes also, or it could be a whole class which takes up a theme. So it depends on how you would like to do it. And I mean, you can't, 100 students working together might be a bit difficult. So I think 30 to 35 in one group would be nice.
2 points, Madhvi, I wanted to highlight here.
Yeah.
One is that it's a whole school approach. So
Yes.
through inform and involve, you can involve higher classes also.
Yes.
And that could be one way of influencing others within the school system. And the second is that usually club approach is strong. Eco committee is thus not the recipient of education. They are the actors. They are the planners. They are doing education for the entire school. So you need to see their role as management team, not as children who will be doing the project, kind of. So I think that clarity is required while implementing the program. So it's not directed at just eco committee. They are the facilitators, and that they are being trained to be leaders when they are part of the eco committee. That how do you negotiate, how do you plan, how do you involve others and give responsibilities to other classes and things like that with the help of teachers.
Thank you, Pramod. Very important point. Okay, I think we are at the end of all the questions. I think yes. Okay, over to you, Mansi. Please do write to us in case you have more questions. We'll be very happy to answer them.
Yeah, thank you so much, Madhuri ma'am and Khushbu ma'am. For any further queries, you may contact us through the mentioned numbers. To know more about the EcoSchool program, you can visit www.ecoschools.in website for upcoming events update, and you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We are also running WhatsApp broadcast group. You can just drop your details on the mentioned numbers. And if you have any further questions regarding the EcoSchool program, you can definitely reach out to us anytime. Lastly, on behalf of the Center for Environment Education, I give a heartfelt vote of thanks to Dr. Pramod Kumar Sharma, sir, who spent his busiest time for this orientation session. Thanks to Swarnima ma'am, Stacy ma'am, and Lavya for sharing their reflections today. Your views and experience are definitely going to encourage our teachers and students. A special thanks to Ms. Madhvi Joshi ma'am, Ms. Preeti Rawat ma'am for their immense support and encouragement. With a deep sense of appreciation, we thank our EcoSchool program coordinating team. I would now like to extend my vote of thanks to all teachers and students who have been actively involved in Seize All programs and encouraging their students to take part in all the activities. We hope that this meeting will help you to take one step forward in protecting the natural world as we envision a sustainable, natural, and healthy habitat program to inspire all children to enjoy and to learn how to protect our environment. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a good day.
We are requesting everybody to stay on line and please put your videos on. We want to take a photograph of whoever is there, all 115 of us. We were around over 170. Yes, so Mansi, will you do the video?
Yeah.
Just ensure that everybody's videos are on.
Preeti ma'am. Done.
Done?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can't see Pramod. Pramod is not.
Pramod is not there?
Left.
Oh, he left, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Lavya. That was very nice.
Thank you so much, Madhviji, for everything. Thank you. God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming, sir. Ma'am.
My pleasure, ma'am.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you for
God bless
coming.
you all.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I think we should end this.
We should,
Stop.